GM, what's up, Abdu? What's up, Diogo? How you guys doing?
GM.
What's up, Amio? GM.
GMO, شو
What's up? I'm trying to think of a quick icebreaker. I know not everybody watches sports, so I'm not going to bring up the Super Bowl. Trying to think of one. Well, I guess how many people are going to East Denver here? I know we got, Jay. Well, I think I know everybody who's going on the call. So. Xandra, will you be East Denver?
Sadly, not this year. I'm bummed. It's one of my favorite events.
Oh, no.
But some of the team will be there. So keep an eye out for, Charmverse and Scout Game people.
Gotcha. All right, we'll give it this 1 or 2 more minutes. We have around over 20 guests that registered. So I know we got 10 people on the call. So let's give it a couple more minutes to get started. We have plenty of time to get through everything. So might as well give it a little more time for people to join when everything starts. Oh, nice, Abdul. Oh, it was calling me. Oh, goodness. All right, I think we're at quorum. Let's go ahead and get started. Xandra, do you want to share your screen for the screen? Probably so you could be easier for you to control.
Yeah, sure. All right. Can you see the slideshow?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right. Afo, do you have anything you want to say before I get started?
Yeah, I could say a few words. I'm trying to get my camera on real quick and then get into it. So it's giving me 10 seconds. Okay. Can you see me? Cool. Yeah. GM, everybody. This is our 5th workshop that we've done. And yeah, really excited for this one. Charmverse is a tool that I love very much and we use a lot in the Dev Guild and network. So really looking forward to having this workshop to help optimize, or if you haven't set up your workspace, this is an opportunity to set it up. And it's great. Yeah, we have Xandra here who's leading at Charmverse, so that's just great to have her to lead us through everything and walk us through Charmverse. And yeah, I'm excited to go. And thanks, Xandra. Feel free to get started.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks everyone for joining. So I'm head of community at Charmverse. And really, I want to walk you through what Charmverse is first, and then we'll do some hands-on learning so you can actually set up your own space. So I'm just going to go through a few slides here, take questions when I'm done with that, and then I'll kind of walk through what it actually looks like to set up a space. And then you guys will be able to kind of start doing it yourselves. So I'm here to help, though. So welcome. What is Charmverse? If you're part of Greenpill, you may have been on their Charmverse site, but essentially we're a community we're a platform for Onchain communities to manage members, coordinate tasks, facilitate decisions, and essentially hold everyone accountable in that community. And we have a bunch of Web3 capabilities built in, and it's going to feel very Notion-like. If you've ever been in Notion, it's going to feel very Notion-like when you get in there. There's a number of ways that you can sign into Charmverse. Most often people are using their wallets, but you can sign in with Discord, email, Google. It's pretty simple. You can also token gate your space. So you can really control the access based on tokens and NFTs. You can also just have a regular invite that you can send out to community members, but we'll go through that as well. Also, as people join your space, Charmverse is building a member directory for you. So you have a better idea who is a part of your community and then also what they're doing within that community. Also makes it easier to get in touch with people, if they attach their socials and everything like that. There's task management features. So as a community, everyone has tasks that needs to be done, whether it's content creation, whether it's writing up proposals, things like that. So you can assign tasks and you can reward members for their tasks. And I mentioned proposals. You can write proposals in there and you can vote directly in Charmverse. However, we are also integrated with Snapshot. So if you connect that account, you can be voting in Snapshot and viewing the results in Charmverse as well. And then credentials. You can issue verifiable credentials in Charmverse. And this is really just to start showing people's contributions to the community and also a great way for people to build reputation in the community. So setting up your Charmverse space is going to be pretty simple. We're going to create a workspace. Then we're going to start to customize that workspace. And that means setting up permissions, creating roles, and then also branding your space with logos, banners, things like that to just make it feel like your community. And then you're ready to start inviting members and assigning roles to those members that will have permissions assigned to them. So I mentioned access control. So you can token gate your space that someone needs to hold X NFT and they're able to enter the space with certain permissions attached to that. So you can have people that are admins, which would be having full access to the space. They could just be a contributor, so they can edit and create pages and do things like that. There also might just be people that are coming in with view-only permissions to learn about the community. And so you can manage these permissions very effectively and have a permissionless space that you really don't need to be, checking in on all the time and individually assigning these permissions. So we talked about some of these, but Web3 capabilities that are built into Charmverse, the token gating. We also work with hats, so you can assign roles that way and token gate. You can issue rewards, and these rewards don't necessarily need to be paying in crypto. You can be sending someone merch. You can be issuing credentials. You can be doing things like that. So all built in. The point is for Charmverse to be an all-in-one tool for your community. And so rewards are a great way to engage community members and have them complete tasks. And you can really tally rewards for your community. And as I said, you can pay out in tokens or NFTs. You can also issue those credentials or send merch. It's really just about trying to get people engaged and helping complete tasks. Like I said, it could be content creation. It could be starting and engaging people in the forum, onboarding tasks, things like that people can be recognized for. So you can create these tasks in Charmverse. There's a whole database to do this, and people can apply for these tasks, or you could assign tasks to a specific role or member. And you can set deadlines and track progress as well to make sure things are getting done in a timely fashion. And then again, we're integrated with on-chain payouts. So if you want to be rewarding people that way, you absolutely can. And then credentials. I keep saying credentials in case people aren't familiar. What are we talking about? We're talking about verifiable credential, which is essentially just a digital attestation saying, yes, you did this for the community. You wrote this proposal and it was approved. You completed this task and we're vouching for you. So people, you can issue those through Charmverse. They're not always going to be on chain. You would have to pay for those to be on chain if you want to pay the gas fees for that, but that is possible to do for Charmverse. And it's just a great way for people to build reputation and show their contributions within the community. And in this image over here on the right, you'll see these credentials will show up in your Charmverse profile. So if you wrote a proposal and it was approved, you could be issued a credential for that. You completed a task, issued a credential, and it would say, Xandra completed the content creation task. Fantastic. Now people can see how I've been contributing to this community. We do bring in attestations from some other organizations. If you're an OP badge holder, that will show up. Also, your Gitcoin passport score will come in here as well. So that's pretty much in a nutshell Charmverse. And next, I will walk you through setting up a space because that's all pretty abstract without seeing it. But I'm just curious before we move forward, if anyone has questions. Turn on my camera so you can human.
If nobody wants to go, I have questions. So
yeah, please.
Okay. Give me. So I think let's see which one. One is around block space, and that's just because we're running up on it. But I can ask you that later. But I think one is around. Well, I'm looking at some questions I've written here. One was how to set up payments. Yeah, one was asking around how to set up payments. I'm not sure who fully wrote that. I think Code is boy here. I think he might have wrote this question.
I was going to say, if they're here, I'm curious. Yeah, so I will walk you through kind of how to set up payments. You'll need to have a wallet connected, of course, for that. And I didn't mention it on the it was on the slide, but we are also integrated with Safe. So you can have a multi-sig in there. And so when you do try to send payment, that will trigger the first signature of the multi-sig, which is great. And again,
that's one of my favorite features, by the way.
Awesome. Love it.
Yeah, anybody got questions? Yeah.
And as I'm demoing, like I said, it's all pretty abstract right now. So as I'm demoing Charmverse, there might be questions, or if I skip over anything, please don't hesitate to ask. And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, I have a question. So I've used Charmverse in a little bit in my DAO as well, but I know you can export individual pages, documents to PDF or Markdown. Is there a way to export like multiple pages at once? That's not.
Sadly, not right now. Okay. No, and that is something that we've discussed, having like a full space export. If something was needed, you could always drop a line to the team and say like, I need a massive export. Sadly, right now, we don't offer that.
Thank you. Yeah. And I guess a kind of related question. Do you know, is there, thinking about like integration with Eliza, do you know if a Eliza plugin is being developed by Charmverse, or is that on the roadmap?
That name keeps coming up a lot right now. I don't know that it's on the roadmap. I have not heard much about it. I mean, I've heard a lot about Eliza, but as far as at Charmverse, I don't think it is on the short-term roadmap.
Okay.
Other questions? Okay, yeah, we'll talk about issuing on-chain credentials. I will show you how to do that when we get into it. All right, so Afo, if you want to kind of, when I share, if you want to keep an eye on the messages and just let me know if anything comes in while I'm chatting and screen sharing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I got
cool. And then I will. So the first way you're going to get to Charmverse is charmverse.io. I already have an account, but what it's going to look like, hold on, let me share my screen again.
We do have one question that came.
Oh, yeah.
So it's how to issue on-chain credentials. I guess you could showcase that when you get
Yeah, I'll show that as we get into it. So, all right, I'm going to share here again. And so if you go to charmverse.io, this is where you're going to land. And you were just going to get started for free. Now, or sign in. I already have an account, so it's just going to drop me into a space, which is, let's just say it's this space. But when you hit sign in, it's going to prompt you to log in, like I said, with email, Google Wallet, or Discord. And then it's going to drop you on a page to say pretty much what kind of space do you want to create. Now you can start from scratch and just have a blank space, create my own. I don't suggest doing that, honestly. You have your NFT communities, all these different types of communities that you could have, and it will set up a template for you. For the purpose of Greenpill, I'm going to select Impact Community. And then you're going to name your space, or it'll give you a random name. I'm putting CVT so the team knows it's me, and I'm going to say Greenpill Workshop. And now create. So then it's saying, okay, set up your profile. You can add as many of these categories as you want, connect different identities. And then it'll also allow you, it'll start to show like your NFTs and things like that. And you can add them as you choose. Now you also see it's pulling in Lens, my ENS, and things like that, as long as other credentials that I have. So as soon as I'm done filling that out as much as I'd like, I'm just going to hit save, and it's going to drop me into a page. Now, this getting started page is just going to have a bunch of videos that will be helpful for you to watch to get familiar with how to do different things in Charmverse. You can delete this page whenever you want. Collaborate. Again, this is just kind of teaching you more about how to use Charmverse, and then more about this template, the default role permissions, the custom roles that are included in it, and then different forum categories and proposal templates. And then this is really where kind of the full space starts. Now you can change this cover photo to be whatever you want. You can also change this icon to be a logo that best suits your space. And you have these pages that are created. Now, again, these are just placeholders for you. So change it up however you want, delete, start fresh, however you want to do things. But when you first get in this space, you can come in here to settings. You can, this is kind of your control center. So if I come over here, I can add a logo that's going to best suit, let's just put this, that's going to best suit your space. If you didn't name your space appropriately, you can rename it. These are your 4 sidebar options that exist over here. And you can do things like hide them or rename them to be a better fit for whatever you want it to say. You can set a custom domain if you enter that in there, and then hit save. It's going to walk you through how to set up a custom domain, maybe because I already set this one up, but and then this will come up and start to provide instructions for how to further set this up. It's taking a minute. So action required, I need to verify setup. And if I go here, it's going to show you all of the different domain providers and then how you proceed to set up your custom domain. And then login artwork. What are people going to see when they come to your page? Again, it's just all about customizing your space. And anytime you make these changes, make sure you're clicking save. Primary identity. This is selecting how people are going to have to join your space. I often leave it as member's choice because it's just easy for anyone to log in with that Discord, Google, wallet, whatnot. But if you really want to force people to log in a specific way with their wallet, then you could simply just choose that option and it will prompt them to do so. And that's how they would be identified in the space. You can also require 2-factor authentication if you would like. From there, go to your account. Set up, I like to connect a bunch of my identities. That way, if I signed in to Charmverse with my wallet and then I forgot about that and then I signed up with Discord, I now have 2 accounts and it's just a pain. So go through and connect these identities if you think you're going to use them in Charmverse. Set up your email. I don't always want to have to come to Charmverse to see if I have updates, if someone made a comment. Instead, it goes to my email and it just ensures that I'm not missing things. And you can, if someone mentions you in a document or comments on something, it's going to let you know. Again, more customization, light or dark mode, whatever you prefer. And multi-sig. So this is where you can connect as many multi-sigs as you want and name them, and they will live here. So if you connected with your regular wallet, but then you're going to want the option to pay out with a multi-sig, this is where you would add it. Profiles, where you're going to see about yourself and what you saw of my stuff before. And we don't need to get into projects or charms right now. Roles and permissions. So this is where you're coming to say, these are the default roles that are set up for you. Admins have full access to the entire space. You cannot change those permissions. So you can have as many admins in a space as you want. When we get into invites, you'll see what I'm talking about. But if you just sent an invite link to someone, a random invite link from the invites tab, they would come in as a default member with the permissions that you choose here. So this is how you can select if people can create pages, create rewards, create proposals. And if you want to turn that off, you absolutely can do that for any of those things. And then as far as the forum categories, what can this permission do here? So can they post, vote, and comment all the way to just being able to view, or do we just remove them from that category entirely? Again, when you make changes, just make sure you're clicking save, easy to forget. Guest access is going to be per page. You can invite someone as a guest and just give them access to a specific page or pages. And then here you can create custom roles. So for the Impact community, we have moderator and core contributor here. You can add a role as you see fit here, whatever makes sense. So if it was like content team, I could select members to add. I'm the only member for right now, but now that role is there and I can now set permissions for what they can do. So maybe they are not able to create rewards at all. And we're saving that. So that's roles. And you can also import roles from Discord and guild.xyz. So if you have those set up, you can import those roles from your space. Invites are the next part of that. So multiple ways to invite people to Charmverse. You can add a private link. You can set an expiration date and also a number of uses, and then generate that link. Now, when I said the default role, I copy that link. I put it in the chat. That would invite all of you to join this space with me. And you would come in as a default member. Now, I can also create this link and then assign a role to it. So this is for the content team. So now I copy that link, I send it to my content team. They join with that link. That means they come in with those permissions that I set for them. So you could have multiple links, all for a different role, and then send it to the appropriate people so they show up with the right permissions. This is, again, making it easy. So if you start this way, you don't need to be managing person by person. The next thing you can do is adding the token gate. So you can do NFTs and POAPs, ERC20s, specific wallets, specific communities. So here you see, the different communities that we have built in here. Hats could be one of them. So if that's how you want to set up your space. And so that's going to be pretty easy to do. Let's see what I have here. I don't think I have, I would need to go to my OpenSea and get that. But does anyone want to see that? Did I hear a ding? Do we have questions?
Yeah, I got a question from Diogo.
Yeah.
Can you token gate a page?
No, you cannot token gate a page, but you can, you could have specific members that would only like a specific role with that token, right? That only has access to a specific page.
Yeah.
So if you had a role and I wanted to, let's just choose a random one from down here, a fundraising page, and you didn't want default permissions to have access, we would say no access for them. But now I'm going to add a specific role. So only core contributors can have access to this page, and admins. Remember, admins are going to see everything. But so you could do that. So you could definitely limit who can see this and just give access to a specific group of people or person.
And one thing I want to mention to add to that is that there's a little caveat around the publishing, that if you click that publish button, Xandra, yeah, make sure if you don't want that to be on the web, make sure that it looks like that. Because once you do publish it to the web, you might have in permissions no access, but it's technically viewable on the web because you published it.
That's a great point. Yes. And yeah, people will really only be able to get to it if they have this link. But yes, so unpublish. This is an important button to know, right? Who can be here? I could also assign a specific person to this. Again, I'm the only one in this space, but if Efo was in here, I could just invite him to be a part of this. So it could be a role or a specific person. So you can't token gate a page, but you can set the permissions based on the token gate. Other questions around token gating right now? And if you want to see the token gate in action, I could go to OpenSea, but if it seems pretty explanatory, I'll also be here when you're setting up your space. Any questions about that right now? Okay. So again, just click through these menus and see, what you can do. You can import pages from Notion, Markdown files. You can also import posts from Discourse. We do have APIs. If you want those, you just need to drop into our Discord, which is here, and request them, and we'll ask you for some information. You do need to be the admin of a space to get those API keys. Billing public goods is free, but that means that your entire space is public. So keep that in mind. And then there are these other plans. Afo, I know you mentioned you had some questions. We can definitely talk about the block usage at some point. Credentials. Okay, so this is what we were talking about. So you can add as many credentials as you want. And as you can see, you can be awarded for proposals or rewards, which could be the tasks. So essentially, I would just come in here and I would say content. Well, I keep going with the content creation because that's on my mind a lot lately. Completed content creation task. And now I can create the logo that's going to show up. So again, I'm just going to click what's here. Now this is what the credential is going to look like. And when someone asked about issuing on-chain credentials, so as it is right now, this credential can be attached to proposals. So once an proposal is approved and passed, this would show up in the author of that proposal in their profile. And then you could do the same thing for rewards. So if it was a content creation task, it would be the same thing, and it would show up though after the reward was issued and the task was complete. So I would just save that for now, but then that doesn't live on chain, right? That lives in Ceramic and is in Ethereum, in EAS attestation. But if you want to issue it on chain, you simply click this button. Again, I'm in credentials here. I select the chain I want to issue on, and then I would input my wallet or Gnosis Safe address. And from there, when you go to click issue, it's kind of the last step of like a proposal or a payment, then you would pay the gas fees, and that's how you would issue them on chain. Questions around that?
I just had a question. Oh, yeah, one question I had was around if because I think right now it's not this way, like, but you could correct me if I'm wrong. But if the author of a proposal it's like for a team for like a grant application, they're gonna be the only one that gets the credential, like their team also won't get that credential, right?
That is true. However, if there were multiple authors on it, if you added multiple authors, you could get the credentials.
Okay. Got it.
Good. That's a good question.
Yoga got another question. Yeah, go for it, Yoga. You want to go for it, Yoga, or do you want me to ask the question? Okay, I think I'll ask it for him. Is there? Yeah, okay, got it. Is there an approval from the community for the reward and credential?
Well, it depends how rewards are set up in your community. That would be based on how things work, but you can definitely set up like reviewers that need to we'll jump over there right now. So if you have rewards set up, you can create a template for these rewards. So if I'm going to create a new reward, I'm going to say, let's say host X space. And then you could give more details to that. You can select a due date. You need to do this by February 28th. Can anyone apply to this? And how many do you want multiple entries for it? And then how many X spaces are available? You can set that. And then you can set reviewers. So if you had core contributors that need to review this in order for it to be approved, you're going to want, or a specific person. Let's say the core contributor is the one that gets to review this. I'm actually going to put myself just so we can see it. And then you could add a credential to this, which we didn't create, but we'll create one right now. X space. Space. Okay. Why isn't that letting me save now? There it is. Okay. And then you can choose payment. So are we actually paying out in a token? Are we doing custom? Are we doing none? Let's just say no payment and publish that. So if I apply to this and say hosting a space on Tuesday. I'm going to submit that. And because I'm the reviewer as well, I'm going to come back to rewards, show you what this looks like. So here's the database, what it looks like. And now I'm seeing there's a submission from someone as a reviewer, also an admin. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to say, oh, cool. Xandra hosted that space or is hosting one. I'm going to approve that. And now there's no payment because we're not paying out for it. But they will be issued that attestation because they hosted the space. So you can set who the reviewers are for this. So it would need to be approved by the community or a portion of the community. Does that answer your question?
Well, I'm not sure if he's able to speak, so I'll see if he sends a message.
Yeah. Let me know if it's not clear.
Yes.
Okay.
Just
cool.
just one reviewer is enough.
It depends. It depends. You can decide how many reviewers you want. Or you could say, put a number of people, but it's going to be up to you on who has to review this.
Oh, can you do like a 3 out of 5, for example? I think it's just a threshold, right? It's just like.
Yeah, so actually here, you're not able to set number of reviewers, whereas let's see if we come over here, create a template. No, that's more actually, I'm thinking on
Proposals,
the proposals. Yeah, we don't have that here. Number of reviewers. Yeah. So you could also do votes on that though. Like let's go over to proposals and talk. That's what, for anyone not familiar.
Yeah, and just to maybe speak to that a little bit, because I know when I was setting up our space, I had to kind of pick between rewards and proposals.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up leaning towards proposals because we had more like flexibility and granularity with like being able to set, multiple reviewers and just different steps in that process to then because you can then distribute rewards as a result of a proposal. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if we do that, first, let's talk to going back down on this list to proposals. You can have different workflows for proposals. So these are the default ones that are here. Community proposal. So you're proposing how to spend funds. You can have someone writes a proposal and they're using this workflow. You can have a feedback, a review by the community, and then a vote. We have grant applications, which is more of like a rubric evaluation. And then you have decision matrix, which has the rubric, but with feedback. And you can add as many different steps as you want and as many different workflows. So if I wanted to add one that was Greenpill rewards, and we want to add a step, you can choose from these different types. So feedback, binary choice, a thumbs up, thumbs down, which is pass, decline. You can have documents signed, have that scoring matrix, as well as a vote. So perhaps we're just going to do a rubric. And you can also set the permissions. So who can see these? If we choose this workflow, can all members see this? Can only specific roles see this? Do we want all members to be able to check stuff out? I'm going to leave it as is, but you could X out any of these and also add users and roles. So let's just do that. I hit save. And now if we come back over here, I'm going to create a template. These are all here for you, but there are different types. So if I choose document is just kind of a blank page where you can write out whatever you want format. Here you can see required reviews. That's what we were talking about. But you'll select your workflow that you want up here. And we added Greenpill rewards. And essentially, I would select people or roles. That would be the reviewer. I'm just going to select myself right now. If people need to approve to move it to the next step, again, if there's a due date, and then rubric criteria. So did they complete the task? And then you could have scoring 1 to 5 or higher. And then rewards. And then let's do this. So yeah, that's a good point, Afo, that you could do this in proposals if you kind of wanted that task. Now, what didn't I complete?
Yeah, I think I've found use cases for both of them. I think, but yeah, definitely have more strongly lean toward proposals currently. But there's definitely
It makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense. So that was the form, and then, or that was the document style. Now this is the form template where you can actually incorporate questions. This project profile is oftentimes going to be used for grants programs. So if you filled it out once, you don't need to fill it out again, and it saves in those projects that I had, that I skipped over when we looked here. And you can have saved projects. So if you were applying to a grants program and you fill this out, you don't need to do it again. But you can change this field too and just have short or long text fields or wallet address or whatever. And you can make really your own form style. Either this could be for like great for if people are applying like elections within the community or something and you wanted them to fill out a couple things about themselves. But yeah, so you have those two different form or document style proposals that you can do. But again, you have more flexibility with selecting the reviewers, how many reviews are required, and stuff like that. So again, it's going to be what works best for your community. And then just going through here, if you want to connect Snapshot, you're going to connect it here. Collabland for syncing the roles with Discord, your GitHub, KYC stuff, and other documents. So this is where you can connect a lot of those things, and then notifications. Again, you can set up logos that will accompany your email from Charmverse, select the color, and then here, do you want notifications for rewards, polls, or forum? And then for proposals, you can actually get a little nitty gritty here and select what people get and what they don't. And again, just remember to hit save. Okay, one of the other questions was rewards and payouts. So I just want to create another one of these so you can kind of see how the payout works too. So let's just say social content for week 1. And again, this needs to be for, let's say, the beginning of March. So we'll put it for the last day of the month. Now, direct submission, you could assign it to someone if you wanted. Do they need to apply for this role? So if I hit assign, it's going to make me, assign it to a specific person. But a direct submission, just saying, yes, I did this, so you can confirm. For viewers, I'll put myself again, just so I can show. Let's select that token. And then here, let's say we're actually willing to pay for this social content. So I would choose the chain that I want to use. I would select the token. You can add custom tokens if we support it. Right now, we support most EVM chains. And let's just say I'm going to pay out that much, 0.001 ETH for 1 week of social content. So I'm going to publish that. And now this is in the KYC. Okay, so I created a template instead, but social week 1. So you can create a template that you can use over and over if it's a task that's consistent. Otherwise, you would just create a standalone. So I'm going to do that. And now, as a member of the community, I'm coming in. I see that this is up for grabs. I'm going to open it and create a submission. And so I'm going to say, here is a link to All Social I created. I'm going to submit that. Now, as the reviewer, again, I see that I have a submission. I'm going to open this and I'm going to look at the work. I'm going to go to that link and I'm going to say, yep, this is great. Or I can say, needs more work. not aligned with community branding. And I can comment on that, and now they can try again and come back and make some tweaks. And then I say, okay, this looks great. I'm going to approve it. And now it's payment time. So I'm going to unlock my wallet. And now I can send payment. So I'm not going to send payment to myself, but I can use my connected wallet, or here's that Gnosis safe that I have connected, at which time, like I said, if I select that, it's going to kick off that first signature in the multi-sig, or I send it from my personal wallet. Again, I'm not going to send those funds right now, but that is how you can pay for rewards and have your wallet set up, because I am connected with my wallet. Again, had to unlock it, or I could select that multi-sig.
You can send it to me.
Yeah, coming your way. And again, with the multi-sig, where are you setting that up? It was down here under account, and connect those multi-sigs. Questions on that? All right.
Hi, everybody. This is your space, your time to shine.
And I will be hanging out. So when you do start creating this, I'll be hanging out, and you can always come and ask me questions for sure. So yeah, so again, you're going to go to charmverse.io when it's time.
There we go.
And,
we got Hilo.
okay, what's up?
Oh, hi there. Yeah, just one question, and thanks for walking through all this. It's really helpful. My question is, so I have a community. It's not a Web3 community, and thinking about onboarding them to Charmverse. Does it work for like non-Web3, just Web2 community? It seems like it would.
Absolutely.
And then when they're ready to transition to Web3, they can do that. Do you have users, communities that are completely non-Web3?
Yeah, I mean, I think mostly Web3 people know about us, but yeah, absolutely. Nothing makes it that you have to, right? And that's the beauty. We used to only have Discord and wallet logins, and then we're like, oh, it's just another barrier of entry, right? So it's having Google, having email makes it very Web2 friendly. If you're not worried about sending payments, on chain and doing all that stuff, then it doesn't really affect you. So absolutely, go ahead and use it. And it's less expensive than Notion to have multiple people in there. So
yeah, I was thinking it's actually a good way of onboarding people to Web3, because you can have a Web2 community on there, but it's like, oh, now we can send you payments, but you're going to need to get yourself a wallet. So then we can onboard people to get wallets, so then we can send payments to them.
absolutely, I think that's a great way to start onboarding people to this space. It doesn't need to be scary.
Mm-hmm.
Other questions, things that I skipped over that you were like, wait, what was that? All right. Well, then before we let everyone kind of break up and do their thing and create a space, Afo, do you want me to share my screen again for those final slides?
Yeah. So we have one slide. Yeah. So we could share I could share the Dev Guild slide. I'll go a quick overview, and then I'll share my screen and kind of show a supercharged Charmverse space, if you might say.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. All right.
Kind of give a breakdown on how we set things up.
Okay.
Okay, awesome, cool. See the slides, and then I'll take over once we go through
Okay.
this. So yeah, we're gonna walk through the Dev Guild workspace. We're gonna talk about some of our applications. We call them applications, proposals. Mapping Dev Guild branches to the Charmverse, like kind of how you should think about like kind of translating your guild structure or your chapter structure to Charmverse. Task and resource management, definitely like we use that for like our task board and stuff like that. And then how we do roles and permissions with hats, and there's a lot more. And as I dive into it, any questions, just feel free to interrupt me. I have like two windows, so I could see if people are sending messages, so don't be shy. But yeah, let's dive in. So I'm gonna share my screen. Can everybody see my screen? Awesome. So yeah, I think for us, in the Dev Guild, when like getting things set up, it was mainly Charmverse. And I want to say like, the Discord, the network Discord, and then we created Telegram, have now migrated to Discord. But really Charmverse was that source of truth. And even to this day, this is our homepage. Like when we're sharing public links about the Dev Guild, we're actually sharing a Charmverse page, right? So that shows, how much we use it. And right here we have like, our mission statement, and then kind of a breakdown, invite, so you could directly just join the space right away. And then we have links to all the different key aspects of the branches of the Dev Guild, our social links, contacts, Telegram, and then they have this, calendars and this different things, so you could, stay up to date. And so yeah, so whenever we're sharing any link to anybody, this is, besides this and the onboarding material, these are like the two most, critical links. And then we also did create an onboarding material, but that's just a document, I would say. But one thing I want to highlight too is like some of my favorite features or the things you can embed in Notion. So one thing is that's cool, you can embed a database. So if you like have a database from another page, you could embed that as a view. So for example, here, you can embed that. I also like being able to, you can do Google Forms, Figma. I haven't tried the frames yet, but definitely curious about that one. But yeah, I think it's really cool that you could embed all these things into your pages. So this is ways to like help onboard people too. And I think we probably could even look to, update our onboarding material with some of these embeds around onboarding and stuff of that nature. But yeah, I would say when you're starting a Charmverse, definitely focus on your homepage, getting that set up, getting all your links. And then from there, I think it's around kind of the structure of your chapter. I think a lot of us will probably have a community branch or some aspect of that. But for the Dev Guild, it made sense to have like community, BD, product, and engineering. And then, yeah, kind of from there, work your way and then, nest down deeper into more databases and more concrete pages. And this just helps to really structure things. So I apply the same structure to like our Google Drive and to like everywhere I can, even within our Discord to a certain degree. So this gives a consistency across when people that are part of your community are, traversing across these different applications. And then also multi-sigs. I think it's very good to have a multi-sig page. So what we have here in our multi-sig page is you can see all the chains where our different wallets live. You can see the signers. You can see if you need to contact for whatever reason about something regarding that. So we have them based on projects, different working capital, but like an authoritative wallet, which we use to do credentials. But yeah, I think it's also a very good page to have when setting up your Charmverse page, so you could keep track of everything. And then we have a leads folder, which is like more for like, lead work and kind of things around like finances and different wallets. Won't dive into that, but that's kind of like your, for your admins of the space where you could put pages that you don't typically make public, but I believe most of our pages are public too. But yeah, just to highlight that. And then, man, there's so much. So let's see. And we're getting questions as I'm going through this. Okay, there's no questions yet. So another thing, going into the credentials a little bit. So if you come here. So yeah, we have a few credentials ourselves. So if somebody completes a member application or they complete the contributor application or like a partner one, they get a credential. And then also for completing a bounty, you get a credential. And yeah, we issue on-chain, and that's with that authoritative wallet I was just talking about. And that enables us to sign a transaction or kick it off to the safe and then complete it there, and then have those attestations live on chain, which is really cool. And let's see. And yeah, a little bit about application flows too. We also have that same thing applies here. We have bounty, contributor, memberships, and then here we have like different filters and review for that. I think Xandra covered most of that, so no need to go into that. I think one thing I do want to highlight definitely is our roles and permissions. So we currently use Guild XYZ for our roles. So I'll actually go over to that in a sec. And So you can see all these symbols where it says Guild XYZ. This is basically Guild XYZ managing this role. So it's basically pulling in from Guild XYZ. If you have the contributor role, if you have the lead role, member role, etc., that's getting pulled in from here. So if I were to go to the Guild XYZ, so this is our Guild XYZ. So all the roles that you're seeing in our Charmverse. Oh yeah, go for it, Matt.
Just a quick question. Diogo asked if the address is a multi-sig.
Which one? The one I showed.
The one you were showing, yeah, the one you were showing earlier.
Yes, that's a multi-sig. Yes. Or I think you referred to this one. This? Yeah. Yeah, this is a multi-sig. And yeah, currently you could just pick between OP and ARB. So definitely be aware of that. But saves are multi-chain now, so that's not really much of an issue as it was before. Oh, I need to go back to that screen. Sorry, guys. So you're talking about this wallet here. And yeah, so really cool thing is that you could use Optimism and ARB. And like I said, multi-chain safe, so it doesn't really matter where you deploy it. So back to the guild XYZ. So here you can see like all the roles we have, and these get pulled into our Charmverse as well as our dev Discord. I'll even drop this in, if anybody wants to join actually. So shameless plug. But yeah, go ahead, join our guild if you'd like to, and then you'll be able to get a Charmverse role potentially. I think the member role is pretty easy access. Everybody's able to get that. Some of the other ones you'll need to do like the application and stuff, but nothing too hard. So yeah, so coming back to the coming back here. So let's see what else I think you guys would really like to see. Let's go to our so also you could rename these. It's just a little caveat, but just so people aren't getting confused. These are proposals, but you are able to like rename what it looks like, and then technically these are rewards, but we call them bounties. So it's just you have that ability to kind of make it your how you like to like to see it. And then we also have the form, which is just the form. But yeah, I think most of that was covered by Xandra. See if there's anything else I could go over. And maybe Matt, is there anything you think I should highlight that I'm maybe just missing because there's a lot.
I just want to say the space looks really great. It's great to see such a robust space using so many of the capabilities.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think we're one of the core users of credentials for sure. Like, I think we've attested the most. Pretty happy about that. But yeah, so we have all these applications here. Call them back. But yeah, here you can see the different applications, how Xandra showed them earlier. And yeah, I think the last thing I'll highlight would be our databases. So I think it's very key to so let me go to the task board. So I think as you're really starting to get set up and want to start really managing, workflows, it's kind of useful to just use Charmverse for a lot of high-level tasks. So we have a ton of tasks that you can see here, you can see the number of tasks, 14 there, and how much have been completed, which is a lot. But yeah, it's a great way to track things high level, and we have a structure, we have tags and all these different things that we do for things. So to me, the databases is really the main, well, pages for sure, but most of our pages are database pages. So a lot of things we do are centered around databases because you get to put these properties and start to define different aspects, and then be able to filter by different things, who was assigned that task, what category that is that under, and it really helps to organize and have a sense of your what's going on. But yeah, I think everybody here has probably already looked around the Dev Guild Charmverse to some degree. I was just trying to highlight some high level things. But I think we're good to go into helping people now set up their workspace or optimize it if it already exists. And yeah, thanks. If there's any questions right now, I can answer them for the Dev Guild.
One feature, I don't know if it would be helpful for you or if you use it already. It's really great to see your space built out like this. It's just a better example of how you're using tasks and the bounties page. But you can also create a database that mirrors your application's database. Do you know that?
Yes, I'm aware of that. I think we have one of those.
Okay, cool. So just for users, if you wanted to create a new page, and I don't know, Afo, if you feel like doing this in your space and then we can delete it or whatever, but essentially you would create a new page, select database, and you can select proposals or applications as the source. And then it's just going to mirror the applications page, but it's kind of a great way that you can filter and have a snapshot of the applications. And again, this we use a lot for like grants programs. But yeah, you can select what is kind of what shows and just create this massive database that you can mess around with without messing around with the actual applications or proposals database. So I just think it's a helpful tool to have that people know that they can use that as a source. Yeah, so it pulls all that in and then you can filter it just how Afo was showing earlier too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the databases are super powerful because you also, I think, could do one. I'm gonna do one more, right? Where you could start with the CSV, right? I haven't really tried the Google form one, or Typeform. So I think those are two to try out. Actually, hey, let's try it out real time. Let's see. Let's see how this goes. Choose from. All right. Okay, let's see. Let's choose Dev Guild survey. Oh wow. Look at that, guys. Yeah, so it pulls up all the responses from our survey. Sweet. You say survey responses. I'm not sure how dynamic is this. So as people do new responses, they'll pull it in. Or is it?
You know what? Good question. I think so. Or I don't know if you need to do like a re-import. I'm not positive on that. I would need to mess around with it a bit.
Okay. That's really cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Like things like that. Really awesome that you could do with Charmverse. And yeah, maybe anything else I might be missing because I want to make sure. Highlight. No, I think I covered most of it. Any questions? Let's see.
Someone just said, just so much information. Yes, Charmverse can be very overwhelming when you first get in there and you see a space like the Dev Guild, which is so well built out and time consuming. I can say the team obviously has thought through this and just creating those tags for things. But once you get it dialed in, it is a really powerful tool. And don't hesitate to reach out. Yeah, don't hesitate to reach out as you have questions.
Yeah, and with the Dev Guild one, we started with just a homepage and I think like a couple databases, like for our projects, and then it just grew over time. So this is almost a year's worth of, kind of building. So definitely, don't feel like you need to get to this stage. But what's great is we're now gonna hop into like helping people set up their workspaces and optimizing them. So, help walk you through some of these things and answer any questions. Cool. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And
just a couple quick notes. I'd say very unimportant, but things to keep in mind is when you have pages within folders, just be careful not to accidentally delete them. If you do, they're in the trash. You can kind of bring them back. And then when it comes to if you want to like paste a Twitter link or I can't remember what other links, but sometimes they automatically embed. So you just got to right click, force paste if you just want the link to show.
Yeah, just little caveats for sure. And things that like it's probably there's more that I could probably think of, but like it's just as you go through Charmverse, you'll notice. I think maybe what we could try to do is like maybe put a page together of like Charmverse caveats, and yeah, that could help with some of those. But yeah, I think I could reshare my screen so we can just have the slides up just to kind of. Or Xandra, do you want to reshare?
Sure. Yeah.
And then we'll dive into some hands-on practice and setup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we get maybe a raise of hands on who would like to set up their Charmverse space or optimize it right now on this call? We have the next hour to do that. So this is the time to do it. Okay, we got Andrea. Yeah, please raise your hand right now because we're gonna do breakout rooms. So if you want to set up your Charmverse space, please or optimize it. Yoga, awesome. So we'll give it a minute, but raise your hand. Time, nice. I think we could facilitate. Who do we have on the call? I don't think that could facilitate. Cause I know me, Bertrand. Okay, awesome. Okay, I'm gonna start organizing the breakout rooms.
Cool. Yeah, and I'll be here, so just let me know as questions come up. I'm happy to help.
Yeah. So first, for everybody that is interested, so I'm gonna go first. Andrea, are you interested in setting up your space, or you already have one and you want to learn how to optimize it? What are you looking to do?
Hi, I don't know if you listened to me. I was having a few problems with the microphone before.
Okay, say it again.
We had our Charmverse. What we did is importing directly the notion that we had, and the issues that I'm finding is now merging it with the proposal with Zillow, organizing that stuff with their goals for us, and it's kind of like a mix now, as we have these pages not organized as this structure, and that's why I like to dive into what we've done already to find a little bit of guidance on how can we fix it to make the structure a little bit cleaner.
Okay, so optimize. Gotcha. Diogo, what are you looking to optimize as well? Okay, let's see. And then time. You're good, Diogo. Well, you will need your mic if you are trying to set it up because we'll need to talk to you. They say it's because it's a big call. Oh, well, interesting. Never seen that one. Everybody's allowed to speak. Not sure why it's doing that. But when we do breakout rooms, maybe you could speak.
Yeah, I want to learn about optimizing, just like learn more in general. I set up a page like about, I don't know, a while ago though, but I haven't really I've been using it in general. So just like going over this all together was been kind of like a refresher. So
Okay, so you want to like kind of jumpstart your space again?
yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Did you start with a template? I'm just curious, or do you kind of just have a blank space?
Nah, I started off with a blank space.
Okay. I mean, you can always, I don't know how much work you did in it, so it might not be worth it, but you could always just create a new one if you like the idea of having a template.
I didn't really do anything with it. I set it up a while ago and just I'm in different Charmverse, I started off with metagame. I don't know how long ago that was, but
so you're in multiple spaces already. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have much in there, having a template is kind of nice, just so you have an idea of what could be there, right? Rather than just kind of needing to create it all yourself. But totally up to you. And as far as optimizing, I know Andrea was asking about optimizing a Notion import. I will say the Notion import is not perfect, especially for databases. So one thing when I do Notion imports, I usually do chunks, like folders at a time, just to ensure I'm bringing over everything and not missing something. But I will say, unfortunately, with databases, I have had to rebuild those manually or go back and add chips and kind of just do the back and forth for anything that's missing, which is not ideal, but it gets you most of the way there.
Yeah, thank you. Regarding that, I also think that we need to review our pages in Notion. So this is great. Thank you.
Yeah. And I will say, when you do import from Notion, just make sure your team, if anyone's working on that, that they immediately start working in Charmverse, right? Because you don't want to have to be catching those changes. So the quicker you can make that transition, the better.
Cool. So I'm thinking for the breakout rooms, Xandra, that you stay in this main room, so nothing will change for you. And would you be best?
Yeah, cool.
I'll go for it. Oh, there you go.
Yes,
We can hear you.
there you go. Thanks.
Nice. Okay, great. This is good. Okay. So yeah, what are you thinking, like in the main call, would you like to help people that are looking to optimize or they're first trying to get set up? Like what do you think would be the most helpful?
I would say, yeah, we can start with people that are optimizing maybe. I did just put like the Charmverse IO for anyone that wants to set up a space that is not yet. So the link is in the chat. That is where you can go and start signing up. And again, choosing the template or starting from scratch and just kind of messing with that. And maybe we start with optimizing the space. People can ask questions, and then we can bounce back to the other group, once they kind of get started with any questions they have.
Okay. And I'm thinking I could take Diogo and Time in the breakout room and help them, while in this main room, Andrea, Bertrand, and just everybody else that has questions could say, because it seems like Diogo and Time want some dedicated support. And who else? Hino, I know you had a lot of questions. Are you also looking to do anything right now on this call with your space?
I'm not sure. Well, I don't know if I need any help right now, but I'm going to use the time to kind of fiddle around with my space, but I don't know if I need any support at this moment.
Okay, perfect. I'll leave you in the main call. So Diogo, Time, you'll come with me, and everybody else will stay here, and Xandra will like support and help with anybody. And also, let me make sure people can share the screen. Yeah, okay, everybody should be able to share the screen. Cool. All right, guys. We're gonna kick off these breakout rooms, and oh no, I have to edit it again. Okay, here we go. All right, opening rooms.
I have a quick question. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Is it possible to kind of clone either entire Charmverses or maybe specific pages, not ones that you're admins for? Like if you stumble across a Charmverse that like has a good database, that like, oh, I kind of want to take this. Is that doable or?
No, I mean, it's doable like on the back end, where we've had to do that for people. Like, can we clone this space? Of course, you would kind of need permission or whatever to do that, but we have done it, but there's not really a way for you to be like, oh, this is cool. I want this, other than like a copy paste.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I was thinking, maybe we can kind of create a basic template and then offer that to other chapters to kind of take. But yeah, you can manually, you can look at it and copy it, but not necessarily.
Yeah. Right now, there's no good way. We did start working with some different teams and having them create templates. Like, I don't know if anyone knows Wasabi from Coconut Network. He kind of helped us create a template for the Impact community, which is what is there now. Same like with our gaming community. But yeah, we haven't been able to do that with as many communities as we would like.
Nice. Yeah, that's funny. Wasabi walked through Charmverse with Afo and I at some point last year when we didn't know anything. And
I love it.
Flies. Here we are.
Yeah, he's been a supporter since the beginning. He's great.
Yeah, shout out Wasabi.
Absolutely. Yeah, so anyone here, if you have specific questions, if you want to share your space, I'm here to help.
I'll throw out another kind of vague question. With the understanding that plans change, but are there any kind of developments in the works or future ideas that are something that like we should kind of keep in the back of our minds that like, okay, this is maybe coming eventually, we can
right now I'm going to be fully transparent. We are very focused on Scout Game. I don't know if anyone is familiar with it. It's an app launched by the Charmverse team that's kind of fantasy. It's like fantasy sports with Onchain developers. So that has been very much our focus. If we do have developers here, I'm going to give a quick plug to it. It's a great way to contribute to open source projects and kind of get rewarded for your work and recognized for your work. So scoutgame.xyz, but that has been a big focus of ours for the last, let's say, 20 weeks. So Charmverse is pretty well built out. We do make some new features specifically for grants programs when they come up, but no, we don't have anything. I can't drop any alpha for Charmverse at this point. No.
All right. Yeah, I was trying to squeeze some at you, but yeah.
If I had it, I would give it. But no, I will say the alpha is Scout Game. Go check it out if you're a dev and wanna get involved. But yeah, that's kind of been our pet project as of late. So no new features currently, unless there's like, you know, a lot of demand from many communities. That usually is what gets new features built.
Nice, thanks. Yeah, I have to admit I've had Scout Game bookmarked for probably months at this point. But yeah,
Go
maybe
check
the
it out.
promotion need to do it. I know, yeah, I need to.
Yeah.
I know Alpha's on there. I guess all the Dev Guild actual people that are kind of pushing code are on there. Yeah, I know there's
Love
a
it.
bunch of people in Greenpill, New York City that fiddle with it, but all right. Yeah. I'll
Yeah,
move it up the
it's-
to-do list.
Moving on up. Andrea, did I answer your question about Notion? I don't think that you're doing anything wrong. Like I said, I think it's not a perfect import because Notion doesn't want it to be a perfect import. Or we don't share all of the same capabilities. So unfortunately, you will need to just do probably some copy and pasting or rebuilding of those databases. But let me know if there is something wonky that I can look into.
If I can share my screen just for a second to show you how are the pages now looking. And on
Yeah.
that, what I'd like your recommendation is on how do we align the activities with the rewards. Because as we are these team members, like what we need to have is these reports of the activities. So we need to
Okay.
all of the activities with if they're completed, if not, so at the end to deliver the reward. And on this, it was the part when I think that we're having that mess because it's not even in the Notion. We had imported the database. It was directly an Excel. So on that, what I did is add some guidelines for the team to import these Excels that they have as CBS. That way we can start having that over the I'm sure that it's going to be easier.
Yeah.
So here it is. The full Notion import was looking like this. So it actually.
So wait, I can't see you're still on the meeting screen.
Oh.
I can't see the space.
It should work now, no?
Yes. Okay, great.
So as you can see here, here's directly the Notion import. So it's not looking that bad. Actually, it looks pretty good. Like
Yeah.
all of the pages are working. Everything's correctly imported. And here it was the thing, like for the budget to correctly align also with the proposal and have it all aligned with all of our milestones and with the multi-sig deliveries. Here what we had is that first draft. So it's directly, well, it doesn't even show, but it was directly the Excel database. So what I did here, just for the teams, because we're starting just doing this. I bombarded a few of them, but we're still missing some. So here's what I added: the instructions to adapt the budget. But for this specifically, what I want to do is to connect these titles with the activities and with the budget. So what would be the easiest way to start from scratch now organizing all of these?
Okay. So you want to link those columns to specific pages. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. For example, with this, one of the activities, one was this, and this included several roles from the team.
So let's see. I mean, what you could do if you go back to that other page.
To which one? Excuse me.
Your database that you want to link like the budget and stuff to.
This one, right?
Yes. Okay. So, I mean, what you could do is kind of add a row to this and have a URL that links back to a page that you have.
Okay.
So on the actual top of the database, yeah, along there, if you hit that plus sign on the far right, no, down where it says like title, and then you have the budget and stuff like that. On the far right, you have a plus sign. Yeah, and you could add like a URL and then link to that page that is going to pertain to the information about that budget. Does that work?
Yeah, for example, like this one, right? So here what I do is I copy this link.
Yep. And
I
you
add
would put,
here, and
yep,
I will
and that
do is that
exactly. And
link
that way, if they have to, reference it, they have a URL that directs them right where they need to go.
okay. Because the rest is just organizing for the rewards. It's going through here as you explained before, right? It's just organizing this better, adding roles.
Adding roles, yep, you'd add roles that whatever suits, whatever roles that you have, and then setting the permissions for those roles. What can they do in this space?
Content creation, right? As you
Yep.
said. Okay.
Yep. And then so you can select the members that fit in there if they're already part of it. So if you have that, you can add people to it. And then if you go to, so create that role as is. Yep. And then if you click into it again, hit that down arrow. Yep. And then go to permissions. You can just select what people with the content creation role can do. So do you want them to be able to create pages? Do you want them to create rewards? That is up to you on what kind of capabilities they have in the space. Maybe creating rewards is not something that they would be doing, so that would be off, but you're allowing them to create pages.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So with this, you're solving a lot of my issues. It's just now adding a few hours on the structuring.
Yes. And like I said, while you're in here, just to kind of reiterate, now that you have that role, if you go back to settings, down there, and then you go to invites, which is 2 under overview, and then you added a link, right? So if you go to add the green button, add private link and generate a new link, and you can delete this or whatever, and then you can go and assign that content creation role. So as you're onboarding people, you can assign specific roles to those people, send them that invite link. So they come in with those permissions. So you don't need to be spending the hours once you have a larger community in there, allocating those roles out. Instead, you're saying, so assign role, hit that little arrow next to the private link that you just created.
And does this, and for these that are already onboarded, I should go one by one. I can't.
Yeah, so if they're already in the space, yes, you will need to add them to those roles accordingly. Yeah. But otherwise, you can create different links for specific roles and invite people in that way. So you don't need to do that going forward.
Oh, that's super useful because we pretend to open the space. So it's just now onboarding the team members. But as we keep organizing the pages, we pretend to keep opening the space.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was on me.
All right. Well, we got through some stuff. That's great. Anyone else? Also, you can just be working on your space and we can kind of be here co-working together and you can just chime in when you need to. Siddiq, did you have a question? I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Did you have a question that I can help you with?
No, I had no question yet. I'm sorry about this for the workshop, so I'm aiming to watch again the rediffusion, the recording that will be available.
Amazing. Yeah, and everyone, in case you need it, you can reach out. So you can always drop a line in the Charmverse Discord. The team is responsive. Most likely it will be me responding. But you can also reach out to me on Telegram, if that's easier. And it's at Xandra Dozet. And I will just share that in case. And I'll just put that in the chat.
Nancel, did you have any specific questions or do you want to kind of dive into your Charmverse at all?
Not really. I'm kind of away from my PC, and I was hoping I joined a room where I can actually see one going on. But it's alright. Kind of missed when the breakout room were created.
Hey, Carla. How's it going?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Being really busy today. Just joining in.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so also in breakout room session.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, I think you showed up at the perfect time. If you had any specific questions, Xandra can kind of help you out, and or we could dive into your Charmverse if you wanted to get a little bit of help working on that.
Yeah, welcome, Carla. We went through kind of what Charmverse is, if you weren't familiar, and then just walked through setting up a space, and then AFO went through the Dev Guild space, and now we're just I'm here to just be support and help anyone kind of troubleshoot if they need any help or optimizing their space. So you're welcome to share your screen or ask any questions.
Okay. I've always had this question. Excuse me. We have a community borderless, and I just wanted to find out how we could seriously how we could use Charmverse for community proposals, communications, and all.
Yeah. So have you used Charmverse before?
Yeah, for grant applications, and then I'm sharing my screen now for grant applications, and I think I usually get this mail from Greenpill when AFO puts up a proposal or any other person puts up a proposal. So it's like go review the proposal and vote on something like that.
Okay.
So
Okay. So you've done. So you've. All right. Great. Okay, so you've been in Charmverse, but you're working on building out, or you want to start building out your own space for community.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yes, there are a bunch of ways that you can use Charmverse for that. We did, I believe, Matt, we have a recording of the demo and stuff, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. So we will
post on YouTube.
Yeah, so we will share that. But Carla, yeah, it's great. You know, as far as like Charmverse having a member directory, I love that you've used it for grants. That's definitely a big use case. But the member directory is going to be built out as people join your space, so you can see who's a part of your community. So as people join, they will appear here with their profile pic and bio and whatever else they add. Proposals are there. As you've seen the other side of that, but you can have community proposals, and if you can create templates for these, if you want, so people are always using kind of a template if they are proposing when you're doing governance stuff. The forum is a great place to be able to have conversations and kind of threaded conversations. It has kind of a Reddit style upvote, downvote stuff, but this you can create new categories and announcements and stuff like that in here. And then the rewards or bounties is what Dev Guild calls it, is a great place to put tasks that need to be completed among your community. And there are videos in a lot of these templates that will show you more in depth how to set these up. But this is a great place for you to be able to post rewards of what you need or what you're looking to do, or onboarding tasks for your community. So I would watch some of these videos. I would also watch the video that Matt and AFO are going to post from today's, because it really is going to walk you through some of the capabilities. I walk you through more of like setting up your space, and then AFO shows off the Dev Guild space, which is a really well built out space, and I think is a great example for people to look at for how to use it for their community and managing members and all of that stuff.
Okay, then can I add, let's say this is because we have a community manager. If I wanted to add him as an admin, sort of like for borderless space where he can build the space, how would I do that?
So what you would do is go to invites on the top left. Yep. And you would create an invite link for him. So on the right, there's that blue button. You're just going to click add. And then private link. And you can set an expiration. You can leave it for 7 days, whatever you want. You can make it so it never expires, whatever. And then you're going to generate that new link. And then you're going to hit that copy link, and then you'll send it to them.
So when they join, what happens?
So then when they join, you'll go to roles and permissions, which is on the left. And you will see they will come in as a default role. As a default, they would come in, and then you would make them an admin. So if they show up, so click into the admin. Yeah. Click into that admin, yep. And click those 3 dots on the right. You would do that in the default role, and then you would just select admin. Yeah, and then they would be an admin, and they would have full permission.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
Yeah. I think we could do this before the end of the month, because we wanted to begin having our conversations in a place that, like, where we could put up proposals, and maybe months later somebody could go there and still take a look at them, and also give out rewards and all for our community. So this works.
Great.
I would send this to our community manager, and hopefully by the end of this month or into March, we should have a really good space that we begin using for our communications and borderless. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And Carla, I don't know if you heard, but you can always drop into the Charmverse Discord if you have questions. I also put my Telegram handle in the chat if you need to reach out with questions. Happy to help.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
All right, guys. So we have about 20 minutes left until I need to dip out to another meeting. So definitely ask away. But again, Discord or Telegram is a great way to reach me.
Yeah, really appreciate it, Xandra.
Happy to be here. Again, great space. The Dev Guild is a great space. So people that have access to that space, definitely look at how it's set up. Yeah, use it for inspiration, because it looks super well organized, and is just a great example of what you can do in Charmverse. All right, guys, I'm just going to hang out here on mute, but I am here if anyone has questions.
Cool. So I'm just going to send the link. I just sent the link to our community manager to join, and I'll make him an admin. And when we get those videos, I'll send them to he and the rest of our team, so we could take a look at it and build our Charmverse. So, but I don't have your Telegram. Can't find it. I joined. So if you dropped it, I can't find it.
Yeah, it's probably lost up there somewhere. Let me put it in there again.
Thank you.
All right, Carla, posting it now.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love seeing spaces. So as people build out spaces, if you just want, someone to have eyes on it, feel free to send or post it to X or Workcast and tag us. I love seeing people's faces. If it's public, of course. It's fun to check out.
Okay, great. Will do. I just sent you a message to you. So
okay.
if I have any issue, I will reach out to you also. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course.
And then I don't know if Afo got the POAP in order, but I wrote myself a note of everybody that was in here. So worst case scenario, I'll send people DMs.
Man, we should have set up a credential in the Dev Guild space for attending.
That would have been cool. Yeah, if only we could pause time and squeeze more juice out of the day. It's the usual. If anybody has Charmverse questions, absolutely please interrupt. But Xandra, I would love it if you could kind of walk through Scout Game a little bit, so I'm not running around like a chicken with my head cut off when I actually make my.
Yeah, I'm happy to. Yeah, let me pull it up and I'll share my screen just so people can check it out. So a little backstory: Scout Game is from the Charmverse team, and we launched it, I don't know, about 20 weeks ago. We're in the middle of pre-season 2. Season 1 will launch, I think, in about 8 weeks. Bye, Hinel. Thanks for all the questions. Have a great day. Scout game. So let me share here. So like I said, it's essentially like fantasy sports for on-chain developers or with on-chain developers, but you don't need to be technical to play. So I'm not, but I'm scouting developers, and then I earn based on their earnings or how much work they do. So essentially, let me go. So you essentially are going to go to scoutgame.xyz and you're going to sign up with your wallet or your Warpcast. And then it's really a way for developers to contribute to open source projects and get rewarded with Scout points. So you get a certain amount of points per contribution. And you have this developer card that shows the level you are based on the work you've been doing, how many gems you've earned in that week, and then the estimated payout as a scout if I bought your card. And this kind of shows the like median workload and where they fall in that. So you just have a little bit of a better idea of who you're scouting. And then developers are going through, a lot of these people are just working on their daily work and they're earning points for this as a developer, which is cool. And, you know, you can, the more work you're doing, the more contributions you're making, the more points you're earning. So here we see kind of the leaderboard based on, what's this based on? Right now it's based on their week's gems. So Blaine is in number 1. This is the work he's been doing. He's been pretty consistent. And if I were to buy his card, it would be 640 scout points, which is pretty expensive. But it's just kind of fun. And then you have your scouts, you know, where they rank the points they've earned over the season, the number of cards that they hold, and you can kind of check out who they've scouted. So this person has a ton of cards. I have, let's see, a few, you know, not as many. And yeah, and then it's pretty fun. Like at the end of the week, based on how my developers did, I earn a certain amount of points based on the work they did. So like last week, I earned 333 points, which I then turned around and bought another card. And you don't necessarily need to pay anything to get in because you have quests. So you have like daily claims, you go and earn points for that. You can refer people, and the scout with the most referral points earns 25 OP. You get 50 points for every player who signs up and purchases a developer card. And then you have all these other quests that you can earn points with. So you actually don't need to spend money to get playing. You can do this and just kind of get in the game. We also have starter packs. So it's not showing up now because I already bought them, but up here it would show starter packs, and they're 20 points a piece, and you only get like a portion of the points you would for those starter packs. But again, it allows you to kind of get some cards and get in the game for relatively inexpensive, and you can buy up to 3, so 60 points. Yeah, and then for developers, you know, we have all these different partner rewards. So you have scout gems, scout points that you're building up, but it's pretty neat because we also have a bunch of partner rewards where you can actually earn some real money. So let's look at Cello. Cello has different issue tiers from common to legendary, and this is what they're paying out for addressing those issues. So anywhere from 50 to 450 CUSD. So it's significant, the money that you can earn by contributing, and then you're also building reputation as a developer and making an impact on these open source projects. So it's pretty neat. So you can go, these are some of the other ones that are open right now: Game 7, Moxie, Bounty Caster, Optimism, and Octon is our most recent partner to join. And same kind of thing where they're giving out 75 USDC. So It's pretty neat. You can earn some real money. It's fun. You can get rewarded for your everyday work if the repos are on here. If you're interested in getting repos added, you can drop me a line and we can check that out and work on adding those. So I'm not a developer, so nothing's here. Yeah, does it make sense?
Yeah, I think it does. Someone was asking where the money comes from that can be earned, and I answered that projects will need contributors, maybe developers also, put in the money for it to be earned. I think probably you could answer to that.
Yeah, so yeah, like Cello is going to send you the money directly when you win, or not win, when you contribute to those and they're approved repos, then yes, they send you the money directly. And same with Octant. But yes, they're coming from these organizations. We find the winners each week, and then we send an export and they will send you the money. But it's kind of fun. And if anyone's not a technical person here, like I said, I'm playing and I come in each day and I get my claims and I've gone through the quests and, I'll keep buying cards. And a little bit of alpha for you, Matt, since you like the alpha. We are launching a token. So all the points that you earn in pre-season 1 and pre-season 2 will contribute to the airdrop you're going to get when the token is launched. And so that will happen for season 1. So yeah, so I just encourage people to check it out, get in the game, especially if you're a dev. It's super fun, but like I said, I'm not technical, but I'm in there, I'm playing, I'm buying cards, and yeah, I've been having fun with it.
So I have a question though. Do I get scouts by just buying cards? Because I'm trying to start, and I've logged in my Farcaster, and I went to quests, and I saw.
Oh, I just lost you.
Yeah, I lost her too. Oh, just back in the call. Just to,
Okay.
I don't know.
Welcome back. Yeah, we got into talking about Scout Game. We
Yeah, I
answered
came
the
back, I was like,
question.
what's going on here?
Am I on the wrong call? No one had any more questions, so Matt was asking about Scout Game. But Carla, I lost you.
Yeah, sorry, my internet went out. So I said I just joined and I clicked on quests, and I think all I just need to do is come in daily and claim this stuff. But do I just buy the card? Like, is that will that give me some sort of edge?
So no, it won't give you an edge. I mean, if you want to buy a card, like if I clicked on this guy, and I wanted to purchase that, I absolutely could. But I don't have a sufficient balance currently. But I could also use scout points if I had enough of them. So, last week I earned 333 points, and I just turned my points over and put them back into another card. So oftentimes everyone's going to have their own strategy here, but oftentimes once I get my payout each week, I'll come and I'll be like, okay, I have 440 points, so I'll come and I might look at Carl here, who has been doing a lot of work over the last 14 days, right? And I can see the payout as it's estimated right now, if I bought their card, would be 87 points. And so you kind of weigh it that way, but you can get started in this game without needing to actually buy anything or spend money. So like I said, you can earn points by going through these quests and, joining Telegram, joining or following Scout Game. There's those starter cards, so you can buy 3 for a total of 60 points. So you can earn these points and really just get started by doing quests.
so you don't need to start spending. And keeping in mind right now, we are on week 6. There are 13-week seasons. So these developer cards get more and more expensive as the season goes on because more and more people have scouted these developers. So it's kind of, you might want to, again, with the strategy, find someone that's a little less expensive, that's kind of new to the game, that still has an estimated payout. So that's why we want to keep bringing new people in, so we have more developers, more activity in the game, less expensive cards that continue to be available. And if you can get those cards at, when they first join and start contributing, they'll be less expensive for you.
Got me.
Okay.
And I did just put the link. Someone asked, maybe it was Diogo. Yeah, I did just put the link to Scout Game in the chat. So definitely go check it out. See what you think. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, one more question. Is it better if a developer has a lower estimated payout or a high estimated payout? Like if I had 2 cards and one had a lower estimated payout and that one had a higher one, which one is preferable?
Well, you want a higher payout, but
Okay.
again, it's strategy. So you might not want the person that has, you might not want the number one person because more people hold their cards. And now you're having to divide that payment, what they would normally make, among more people, right? So it kind of depends. You might not want the person that's been scouted the most because they're more expensive and the payout isn't that much bigger than a card that might be 200 points less, and then it's just 20 less in payout. So it's really the strategy that you're going to take on. And we do have a YouTube for Scout Game, and we kind of post clips and stuff about, some of the founders talking about the strategy that they might employ and how to think about the game.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I like that people are curious. How about more Charmverse questions? Anyone start working on their space and need help with anything?
Well, we're almost got 5 minutes left, so and anybody at this point that hasn't asked a question, me and Diogo and Time were able to get through a lot, so that was really productive. But yeah, I think we're probably good to close things off, and that's all today.
Awesome. Well, everyone has my my Telegram and Diogo. Everyone has my Telegram, and please reach out or drop into the Charmverse Discord as you're building out your spaces. I appreciate everyone showing up today and listening and checking it out. And I'm excited to, like I said, take a screenshot of your space, post it on X, tag us. We love to see how people are using their space. And, we're happy to also amplify the work you're doing. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Xandra, for your time and everything and walking us through. This has been great. Really appreciate it.
Happy to be here. Thanks for being such an attentive audience. And yeah, good luck with your spaces. And like I said, don't hesitate to drop a line.
Yeah, will do.
Thanks for putting it together, Rafo.
Yep,
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Xandra.
Happy to help, Matt. Nice to meet you guys. And yeah, put faces to names. Afo and I have been in touch, I feel like, for about a year or so now.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Did the refine R? Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Awesome to see some faces too. Hey, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye. See you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Sandra. Thank you.